Greetings, this is Neosho County Community College Computer Concepts and Applications, course CSIS 100, and in this unit we're going to learn about Microsoft Word, Chapter 6 on page 157. This is in Part 2 of your textbooks. Creating, editing, and formatting documents using Word. Remember that Microsoft Word is a word processing application used to create documents that are composed mostly of text for personal, business, or school purposes. Word documents can also include pictures, charts, tables, or other visual elements. In Microsoft Word, we will be creating a few documents and learning how to edit those documents as well. Please turn your text over to page 158. You'll notice I have Microsoft Word launched on the screen, and at the very top we have all of the ribbons across this section right here, starting with Home and going all the way over to View. If you do not have the Developer tab open, that can be found under File and selecting Options and then turning on the Developer tab. From this menu, we have a blank document that appears when you start Microsoft Word. However, there are quite a few templates that we will work with in the future, especially when we create an invoice. Let's go ahead and start at the beginning here. You'll notice that I have a cursor on the screen, and you'll also see that there's an I-beam that's attached to my mouse here. The cursor on the screen is called an insertion point, and that's where you begin to start typing your text, and then the I-beam is actually your mouse pointer. So we're going to start by typing social bookmarking at the top of Microsoft Word's document, and I am going to zoom in into Microsoft Word so you can see what I'm typing easier. Once you type that line of text, if you press enter, you'll notice that it automatically adds an extra space when you press enter. If you wanted to just go to the next line, you could just hold down the shift key and press enter as well. So just by default, it always adds an extra line space. We're also going to type in 2 paragraphs of text, which is found on page 159. So take a moment and type in the area that's highlighted in pink. If you do make any errors, I'll show you how to correct them once you have completed your typing. As you're typing, when you get to the end of the line, you'll notice that the text automatically goes to the next line. This feature is called word wrap. All of the definitions that are provided to you can be found in your textbook, and I would encourage you to highlight those or bookmark them so you can refer back to them in the future. And if you need more time to continue to type, please go ahead and pause the video and take that time to finish. At this point, you'll notice that I have made some mistakes. This word down at the bottom should be bookmark, so I'm just going to put my insertion point by using my mouse and clicking after that word. I'm going to go ahead and add a K at the end of that. I'm going to go ahead as well and press enter at the end of this paragraph, and the textbook at the bottom of page 159 is showing you the autocorrect feature. So if you were to mistype the word the and type TEH, it would automatically correct it for you. So Microsoft Word does have an autocorrect feature to it. We're going to go ahead and start on the top of page 160 and continue to type in the text at the very top of that page. Here we're talking about, looks like the text is referencing Pinterest. The second sentence that you are typing, you'll notice that you're typing a fraction, and after you type that fraction and press the space bar, it will automatically change size and look like a correct fraction. That's called auto formatting, and that feature is listed at the top of page 160. So once again, notice that Word automatically corrected the capitalization of the first word of this sentence, and then it also auto-formatted the fraction character 1/2 by choosing a smaller width and smaller size. So that way it's appropriate, looks well presented in the document. All right, you might notice in Microsoft Word there's a quick access toolbar, and the textbook is referencing that as QAT. Up at the very top in Microsoft Word, this is the quick access toolbar, and you can access it by choosing the drop down arrow. You can turn on more commands if you'd like, or you can show it below the ribbon. There are many options that you can add to your quick access toolbar. I think of it often as a shortcut where you don't have to go through the menu system to locate them. Instead, you would use the quick buttons up at the top. So I'm going to choose the save icon on the quick access toolbar, and the textbook is asking you to save it to your computer. Please save it to wherever you're saving your data files. If you are putting them into a folder, please save it to that correct folder. Here we're going to call it social bookmarking. We're going to put an underscore at the end of it and type in your name and save. All right, back to our document that we just saved. We're going to continue to edit the document, and I'm on step 13 at the very bottom of page 160. We're going to tap or click to position the insertion point at the beginning of the last paragraph that begins with the text, "A study by a marketing company." So at the very bottom of your document, we're going to put the insertion point at the beginning of this paragraph, and we're going to type in the words Experian Hitwise, which can be found at the bottom of page 160, and we'll do a space there. All right, you'll notice that this text is automatically inserted, and now we'll need to change our uppercase A to a lowercase a, and let's put this in parentheses, "A study by a marketing company." After we have the parentheses in, we will then complete the text on step 14 that asks us to type "conducted a survey of frequent web surfers," and make sure we do a space after that parenthesis. All right, anytime you want to do a quick save, one shortcut is Control S. That'll do a quick save into your document, so you don't have to even use the quick toolbar up at the very top. Okay, the next edit that we're going to make to the document is to find the fraction that we inserted previously, the 1/2 fraction, which is in this line that we're working in. Go ahead and position your insertion point just left of that 1/2, and let's press the delete, and actually we're going to delete all of this out to the end of surfers. and we're going to type in 1/2 instead of using a fraction. We're also going to delete the auto formatting of the word first, and instead of using the numerical first, we're going to type in the word first. Okay, please check your text with my text, and if you need to make any corrections, please pause the video to do so. Until then, we'll just go ahead and save. At the bottom of page 161, your textbook discusses what a line break is versus a new paragraph. And just to keep in mind that when you press the Enter key at the end of a short line of text, that's really called a hard return. However, if you want to end a short line of text and do not want an extra 8-point space added, once again, you could do a line break. And I had referred to that shortcut as holding down the Shift key and pressing Enter. We're going to continue in Chapter 6 by turning to page 162. The next topic that is introduced is how to insert symbols and completing a spelling and grammar check. For step number 1, we still have the document open, so there's no need to go ahead and locate that document. Let's position the insertion point after N in Experian, which is what we had typed just a few minutes ago. Experian is a registered trademark, so we need to add the registered trademark symbol after the name. This can be found under the Insert ribbon up at the top. And then you'll also notice that there's a feature at the very end of this ribbon called a symbol. I like to go ahead and select more symbols so I can see them all. And what is defaulted in Microsoft Word is normally a font called Wingdings, and this will allow you to locate many types of symbols. Another popular symbols group, if you look in the drop-down menu, you can scroll through all of the different types of fonts until you find the one that you like. You'll notice that there's one called Symbol in the groups. This is where your registered trademark can be found. So by selecting the symbol gallery, you can then find the trademark sign. So let's just take a few minutes and locate the trademark sign. It is found in my recently used symbols, but if you do not have it in your recently used, you'll have to scroll through the gallery until you locate it. Once you locate it, you'll select it one time and then select Insert. From there, you can go ahead and close out of this box, and you'll notice that the trademark, the registered trademark, has been inserted for you. Okay, next we're going to position the insertion point after the period at the end of the paragraph that begins Experian. So at the very end of this paragraph, we're going to continue to add to this. So I'm going to press space, and we're going to type in the text on number 6 on page 162. From here, you'll notice that we aren't going to end the sentence. We're actually just going to type the word of and press the space bar. We're actually going to insert another symbol here. So let's go up to our symbols again, and I'm going to select more symbols. And from the font set gallery, make sure that normal text has been selected. And then in the subset gallery, we can choose Basic Latin. From here, we're going to scroll down through the symbol list, and we're looking for the plus sign with the hyphen directly underneath it. It's down just a little ways. First one. I'm going to select this symbol, insert, and choose Close. Make sure that there's a space before it and after it. Then we can finish our sentence by typing 3%. So plus or minus 3%. You may have noticed the plus minus sign symbol is also available in the symbol gallery. So just FYI, in the future when we insert symbols, you can choose them from the gallery, or you can have the option of choosing from the subset as well. Next, let's try doing a spell check. Spell check can be found under the Review ribbon up at the top. And under Review, we can select the Spelling and Grammar button to do some proofing. First, it's going to check the grammar as we go through here. I'm going to go ahead and ignore all of the grammar options that are here. And when the spelling check catches the word bookmarklet, we'll notice that this word is actually a word, however, Microsoft Word isn't recognizing it. So instead of just adding it to our dictionary, I'm just going to select Ignore All. That way the word will be ignored. You'll notice that it will not ignore different suffixes of the word. So here we have an S at the very end of it, so we also need to ignore all of it as well. Let's also ignore pen boards, and we'll also ignore Hitwise and Pinterest. Now you'll notice that on mine, when I'm completed, I get another dialog box that appears, and if you don't get this dialog box, I'll show you where you can get that. This is called readability statistics. It tells you how many words, how many characters, paragraphs, and sentences are available in your document. It also will give you the readability of your document. For example, you can see that this document is written in 10.5 grade level. Probably not the best grade level to submit. If you would like to have that option available to you, you can find it by going to File, selecting Options, choosing Proofing, and then towards the middle of the screen there's an option called Show Readability Statistics. And in this option you'll want to make sure it's checkmarked and then press OK. So every time you'll do your spell check, your document, you will get a grade level for your paper. Continuing on to finding and replacing text, I'm going to go to the top of my document by pressing Control Home, Control S to save. We will be doing finding and replacing text next, which is on page 164 of Chapter 6. Our document is already open, so we do not need to open it again. And I'm going to go ahead and make the Home ribbon active. The Find option is found at the very far right-hand side of your screen, or, whoops, pressed a button I shouldn't have. We're going to go ahead and select that Find option, and you'll notice that Control F is the shortcut for that as well. So here we have the navigation pane that opens. The very first tab will allow you to browse headings. The second tab allows you to view pages, and then last is you can review the results of your search. So in the search box towards the top, we're going to type in social bookmarking. And then once you have that typed in, you'll notice that a list of all of these words have been highlighted for us on the left-hand side. It actually gives us the page and the context in which it found them. On the right-hand side in the document, it also highlights them. If you tap on each entry on the left-hand side, it will go to your document and highlight it and take you to that exact area. Notice that each occurrence of the search word is selected as you move to the phrase location. Now I'm going to go ahead and close out of this navigation pane by choosing the X in the right-hand corner. We're going to position our insertion point at the very beginning of our document, which is Control Home. Instead of choosing the Find option, I'm now going to select Replace. You'll notice that the word that it's wanting to find is the same word that I typed previously. Instead, I want to change it to bookmarklet. And then I'm going to type in the text to replace it with bookmark button. Then I'll select Replace All. Once it's completed, it will tell you how many replacements that were made, and from this document it appears as if 2 replacements have been made. I will select OK and then Close. Let's go ahead and save this document, Control S to save. The thesaurus is also a really good feature in Microsoft Word. In any of your words on your screen, and I'll use the word organize in the first paragraph, if you choose to right-click on that word, you can select synonyms, and it will give you a list of words that mean the same thing. So if you want to improve the grade level of your paper, you could choose a more professional word. Moving over to page 166, we're going to practice with moving text and inserting bullets and numbering. The document that I have is still open, so no need to open up the file. At the very top, there is an option to turn on the paragraph marks, and the paragraph marks can be found to the left of the headings. It's almost towards the very middle of the home ribbon. It looks like a paragraph symbol. If you were to select that one time, it will show you a dot where there's a space and a paragraph symbol where there happens to be a hard enter pressed. You can toggle that on and off by selecting the paragraph symbol again. Now we're going to select the paragraph. The popular social bookmarking site Pinterest is used to pin pictures found on the web to virtual pin boards. That would be the third paragraph. So I'm going to use my mouse and click and drag and highlight this sentence to select it. We are going to cut this sentence because it's out of place and it needs to be put in a different location. The cut command can be found under the home ribbon towards the left-hand side, or you can use the shortcut, which is Control X. Next, we're going to choose the location where we want to paste what we just cut. We're going to put it at the beginning of the paragraph that begins with "Many websites now include." So once you have your insertion point in front of this paragraph, we will paste it by choosing the paste icon on the very top left, or by holding down Control and pressing V. You'll notice when you do a paste, you'll have a small icon that appears after you paste. This is called a Paste Options button, and it appears whenever you paste text with buttons in a gallery that can change how the text is pasted. The button disappears when you start a new task or you press the Escape key. If you wanted to paste something and keep the same formatting, there are some great options, including Keep Formatting or just Keep Text. I'm going to press the Escape key to remove the dialog box. Next, on the top of page 167, we will position the insertion point after the period that ends the sentence. The popular social networking site Pinterest is used to pin pictures found on the web to virtual pin boards. Then we're going to press the spacebar key and finish this sentence by typing on number 8 on the top of page 167. We're going to begin doing a bullets list next. I'm going to press the enter at the end of this sentence, and now I'm ready to type in my bulleted item list. I'll go ahead and select the bullets character, which is up on the home ribbon tab towards the middle section. I'm going to go ahead and deploy my bullets. And then let's type in the text that the book suggests on page 167. Make sure to type space after the end of each line. Notice after you type in reddit.com and press the enter key, it will automatically assume that you want a new bullet inserted. A few ways around that is to select the bullets icon again from the top, or you could just press the backspace key to delete out that bullet. Let's go ahead and position the insertion point after the period that ends the sentence Bookmark buttons add a bookmark instantly when clicked. Now at the end of this sentence, we're going to delete out the period and type a comma. And let's complete the sentence, which is number 14 on page 167. And then instead of doing a bulleted list here, the textbook suggests we do a numbered list. A numbered list can be found to the right of your bulleted list. And then please go ahead and type in lines 16, 17, and 18 in your textbook. When you're completed, go ahead and save your document by doing a Control S. Notice that your document will do any auto formatting as you type. The next step is on page 168. Our next skill is to learn how to format text with font and paragraph alignment. Once you have it saved, let's go ahead and toggle off the paragraph marks so we do not have to look at those. Often that will get you confused if you see all of those spaces, all those little dots. We are going to apply font formatting to our document next. Make sure that the document's open, and I have not closed it yet, so if you're just beginning with us, please go ahead and open up the file you started earlier. You'll notice that the font button arrow, and before we do that, let's go ahead and select the title text, Social Bookmarking, at the very top of our document. And then I'm going to select the font drop-down menu up at the very top of our document. In the font menu, you'll notice that there are several different font styles that you can choose from. And if you move your mouse over one of them, your document will reflect what you have selected. The book has suggested we choose Century Gothic. And if you do not like to scroll, just type in the word C-E-N and it will automatically bring you to that area. We're going to select Century Gothic from the font gallery. Since the title text is still selected, let's go ahead and tap twice or click the increase font size button to increase the font size 2 times. So it'll be size 14. The font size option is directly to the right of our font dialog box. You'll notice the first time you increase it, it will go to size 12, and then to 14, and so forth. It will increase in 2-point sizes each time. With the title text still selected, let's go ahead and choose the bold, which is Control B. We'll also select a font color. You'll notice the font color is listed in the font categories. It's always defaulted to be red. And it appears as if the textbook does not, yes, it does suggest that we change that to red, so let's go ahead and do so. To deselect your text, just click anywhere off of your title and that will take the highlighting off. There are 4 different types of alignment styles in Microsoft Word. There's Align Left, Center, Align Right, and Justify. These options are listed at the top of page 169. Let's go ahead and select or click the insertion point anywhere within the title, Social Bookmarking. From here, we're going to center the text, which is found up here under your paragraph alignment styles, or the shortcut for center is Control E. Notice that you can also change it to right, which is Control R. Justification is Control J. Control L is left. Control E is center. Each of those alignment styles can be found at the top underneath your paragraph mark. Next, let's go ahead and put our cursor somewhere in the first paragraph. And select the Justify option. Here, it adds space between the words to make sure that the left margin and the right margin are touching text. Since we still have the insertion point in the first paragraph, let's go ahead and change it back to align left. Control L. We'll save the document using the same name. The next topic, skill set, is indenting text and changing line and paragraph spacing. I'm on page 170 at the top of the textbook. The line and paragraph spacing button in the paragraph group allows you to change the spacing between lines of text. So here is where you can go from single spacing to double spacing with just a click of a button. First, we're going to put our insertion point at the left margin of the first paragraph. The paragraph begins with social bookmarking websites are used to organize, save, and share web content. From the left of this first paragraph, we're going to indent 5 spaces in by pressing the Tab key. The Tab key will indent our first line into 1/2 inch. Let's go to the second paragraph and go ahead and position it anywhere within the second paragraph. And here we're going to increase the indent button up on the paragraph group. The indent is found right up at the top. These two options right here. We're going to increase the indent. You'll notice by increasing the indent, both lines of text are indented in. Not 1/2 inch, but 1/4 inch. With the insertion point still positioned in the second paragraph, let's go ahead and select the Decrease Indent option. This moves the entire paragraph back to the left. Now let's go to the third paragraph, which begins with many websites now include icons. We're going to select the line and paragraph spacing in the paragraph group. The line and spacing options is found beside your paint can. Here's the different line spacing options that are available to you. 1 inch, 1/15, 1.5, 2, 2.5, and 3. And as you move your mouse over them, you'll notice that your text will also change. Let's choose line spacing options towards the bottom of this list. We're going to select the current entry in the left text box, and here we're going to type in 0.5. We're also going to select the current entry in the right text box and select 0.5. So this text is going to be indented 1/2 inch from the left and 1/2 inch from the right. Select OK. Now you'll notice that this paragraph block has been indented. Now let's go back and change our entry to reflect a 0. And select OK. Now, instead of choosing indentation options, we could also select a first line indent. To do this, we're going to go back to the line spacing options from the top. And you'll notice on the right hand side there's an item called Special. Here we can select a first line hanging indent and select OK. You'll notice that the first line of this paragraph has now been indented into the 1/2 inch mark, which mirrors our first paragraph. Let's also format the second paragraph that begins with the popular social bookmarking site Pinterest to have a first line hanging indent as well. You'll notice pressing Tab won't get the job done. You'll need to go up to the line spacing options, choose Special, and select First Line. Do the same for the last paragraph as well. From here, let's do a quick save. Next, we're going to select all of our document, all of the text in the document, by doing a Control-A. Control-A is the shortcut for selecting all of your text. We are going to change our line spacing options. Let's choose the line spacing again. And you'll notice as you move your mouse over the text how the line spacing will also change. Let's change it to 1.0. You can also have the option to remove space after paragraphs. This will eliminate any extra spaces that appear between paragraphs, or you can add space between paragraphs. We'll go ahead and leave the spacing to add space before paragraphs, and let's change our spacing to 1.0. The next skill set that we are learning is on page 172, and it's using styles. I will do a quick save just to make sure our document has been saved. And now we're ready to continue. On page 172, the book is now asking us to save our file as a different name. So let's go ahead and select File and choose Save As. As of right now, our file is called Social Bookmarking and then our last name. Instead of Social Bookmarking, we're going to call this Styles _ your last name. And let's go ahead and save this. So now we have a second file that we're working on. The first file, the social bookmarking file, has not been deleted. Instead, we have made another file by saving this as a new name. Okay, let's start by selecting the social bookmarking text at the top of the Microsoft Word document, and we're going to apply a style to this called a title style. And I'm going to change my styles back to default, as I have experimented with mine previously. You'll notice that the headings can be found at the very top of Microsoft Word, and we're looking for the title style that will be found up here at the top. If you can't find it, we may have to look for it. Once you find it, we'll go ahead and select the title style at the top. Now you'll notice when you choose a style, it also makes modifications to your document. It'll change the text, the weight of your font, as well as any coloring that it may have applied to it. We are going to select the More button in the Styles gallery next. To do this, we're going to select the first paragraph, so just put your cursor anywhere in that first paragraph of text below our social bookmarking title. And here's where we're going to select the More styles. You'll see the double chevron on the corner of our headings. By selecting that, you'll see a better list of all of your heading styles. And there is one called a quote, and that's what we're going to select from the style gallery. In the second paragraph, let's highlight the text Pinterest.com. Let's then look at our style gallery and look for one that's called Intense Reference Style and select it. Then you can deselect your text. Once you have applied the styles to your text, you can now experiment with various style sets in the document formatting group of the Design tab. Here is where you want to go ahead and then select 2 rows of style sets in the document format gallery. If you're using version 2013 of Microsoft Word, you will have the Design tab at the very top as a new ribbon. If you're working in an older version of Microsoft Word, like myself, you will not have that ribbon. However, you can still make modifications to your headings by selecting your heading style, right-clicking on your heading style, and then select Modify. And here's where you can modify your font, your size of your font, the style of your font, and then also at the very bottom left-hand corner, you can format your font color, your paragraph and border, and so forth. So take some time and make some modifications to a couple of the heading styles that we have already worked with. I'm going to go ahead and select Control S to save. Over on page 174 of your textbook, we're now going to create a new document from a template. Now that Word is already opened, you'll notice that the New tab, Backstage View, is used to browse for a template. So we're going to select the File option and make sure once again this is saved, because you do not want to have to redo this to submit to your instructor. We're going to select File after the document's saved, and then select New. From this menu, you will see all of the different types of templates that are available for you to use. The first templates are templates that you have created. The second category are Office.com templates that can be easily downloaded into Microsoft Word. We're looking for an online template called a timesheet, and there's one at the very bottom of our screen. If you do not have the timesheet template, you'll want to conduct a search on Office.com for timesheets. Once I've selected timesheets, I have two options to choose from. And really, for this exercise, it doesn't matter what timesheet that you use. However, I'll be using this one, which is by Microsoft Corporation. I have made my selection. I'm going to select Download. Depending on your internet speed, will determine how fast the download happens. What's great about templates is that the document's already been set up for you. All you have to do is fill in the information. So for the company name, I'll select one time and I can go in and type in my company name, which is A+ Tutoring Advantage. This information can be found at the top of page 175. For the slogan, I'll go ahead and leave it blank for now. Then for my address information, I'll go ahead and type in the address information at the top of page 175. Continue to fill in the fields as the information is provided at the top of this page. Excellent. And I don't know if we'll have a slogan, so I believe for my slogan, I'm just going to delete this field altogether. For the employee name, you're going to put your name in here. And for the employer number, it would be 101. Our department name is Computers. Your title is Computer Tutor. Your status is part-time. And your supervisor will be your instructor name. You'll see how easy this timesheet is. Now we can just select the days of the start and end time that we chose to work on our class. So I'll choose today's date and the start time and the end time. can type in your regular hours or your overtime hours, and can continue to fill this out as the textbook has listed on page 1.75, page 175. Once you're completed with your file, please save this as timesheet _ your name. When you're uploading your files to Inside MC, there are 3 files that you'll be uploading. The first file is social bookmarking, the second file will be styles, and then this file is timesheet. 3 files will be uploaded for this assignment. Thanks for joining me for Chapter 6, and I look forward to working with you again in Chapter 7.